Good morning. It's the Call Flow Radio Show, and you're on the air.
Well, you have an invitation to be part of the Call Flow Radio Show. Just give us a call here at 434-394-0924. I'm Chris Wood. We're going to ask that you hold off on your calls, though we do have a special guest in our Francis E. Wood studio, and it is our illustrious Mayor of the town of Farmville, Brian Vincent. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, loving this weather, right?
Yeah, it's been yesterday was a little warm though for my taste for November, but
Right.
We are where we are.
Absolutely, it is what it is. And I woke up to a wet deck this morning.
Yeah, that's a rarity these days. Isn't it?
Yeah, just a little. I don't think it was much, but it was enough to settle the dust. Let's put it that way.
Exactly.
Well, what's going on? You guys met last night, right?
So we met on Wednesday night,
Wednesday
so 2
nights.
nights ago, and we had our regularly scheduled council meeting. Normally it's the second Wednesday of every month. But we moved it forward to the first Wednesday this month, which is usually our work session, and just combine the two. And that was primarily because myself and Vice Mayor Reed, who would operate the meeting in my absence, will both be at the National League of Cities conference this next week. And so I serve on the Small Cities Council and the university's Communities Council for National League of Cities, and so have some meetings there to attend. And so we'll be going there. So we moved the meeting up. So we had a little compilation of things going on where there was some work session style discussions and then a little bit of new business. Old business discussions were around the topic of fences, which has been a reoccurring theme on council. Derived because it became apparent that we did not have a fence ordinance in town, and there had been an occasion where somebody put up a fence and it encroached on the safety of their neighbor because their neighbor could not see oncoming traffic to get out of their driveway. And so you gotta, all right, be proactive. We want to prevent this from happening in the future. Can we craft a fence ordinance like most localities have that would mitigate that situation? So the council has been kind of working through that. And on Wednesday night, a new version of that came up, which was similar to the old version that had 4 feet in the front yard, 8 feet in the backyard, but then added a conditional use rider to both, that if you wanted to go above those heights, you could apply for a conditional use permit and plead your case to build higher, which is a pretty standard operating procedure for adjusting outside of an ordinance. And so in a sort of straw poll, just to see if it was worthwhile to send it back to the Planning Commission for them to review, we polled council, and one of council was in favor of not doing anything, but there was no motion raised there to do that. Another council member wanted the heights to be all much taller in the beginning, but that didn't have a motion or move anywhere. And then a majority of council voted to send what was in front of them back to Planning Commission to see if it could come through Planning Commission and back to us. So that'll go through its normal process. It'll go to the Planning Commission. There will be public comment periods. Planning Commission will make their recommendation. That recommendation will come to council. There will be another public hearing period, and then potentially a vote on it. Then water and sewer tap rebate ordinances. We talked about this in our prior meeting. It came up through discussions with the developer, looking at our water and sewer tap rates and how we had some talk about in the past. The town council has instituted rebates for them or reduced the fee for water and sewer taps to try and incentivize a little bit of residential movement. And so in that meeting, I asked for the town administration to compile some stats for us, give us some idea of where we fall on our rates comparable to other localities, but also what what development got spurred in those prior attempts to reduce or rebate. And so was it worth it? And what was the cost to us? So we got some of that data, and it ranged. It looked like we did rebates or cuts in water and sewer tap rates for residential for about 6 years, from FY 2014, 2015 up to FY 2020, 2021. And it was a mixed bag. Some years there was decent development. Some years there wasn't. I think the max revenue lost one year was like 120,000, 140,000, somewhere in that range. But it did spur some movement. And so it's important to remember, one, this is just residential, kind of like single family home style development, not commercial. And then, and our rates sat higher, it looked like on paper. We were at 4,000 for water and sewer rate hookups versus some other localities at like 2,500, 3,000. The issue there is you want to look at that and go, okay, it looks like we're high. Maybe we do need to make some adjustments, or maybe we do need to reduce. But as often the case for me personally, I like all the information I can get. Mm-hmm. And it felt like, all right, are some of these localities subsidizing that rate through other means? Like there's a lot of localities whose enterprise funds are your basically like your business funds, your water and sewer funds, which are supposed to operate like a business, kind of like they take in revenue and they output services, and those things have to match. And a lot of times localities will subsidize a deficiency or a deficit in their enterprise funds by siphoning off their general fund, like their general fund taxes and that sort of thing. And so we don't have to do that. We're generally whole on our enterprise funds. Sometimes in the past, well, a lot of times in the past before the last few years, we used to have to actually do the reverse. We would siphon out enterprise funds to make our general fund look better, which is also bad. Both of those are bad. You know, you don't want to siphon money from anywhere to
rob Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah. And so we are in an enviable position where our enterprise funds are whole. And I think this past year, for the first year, we didn't have to move money to account for deficits anywhere. And so you got to keep all those things in mind.
Right.
Looking at these things.
Yeah. Infrastructure there, as far as repairs or stuff like that, you have to take that into consideration as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, it should be, absolutely. And that does, like, and that's where I say, like, information is gold. And some of that gets a little murkier, right? Because you're going to get grant money here and there. You're going to, there's definitely a lot more moving parts there. And we are in a spot like a lot of older localities where we have some aging infrastructure. And we are actively doing an asset management plan now where we are studying our piping, water and sewer pipes underground, and figuring out where our most need is so that we can start to set up a rotating schedule of improvement there. And that's been in the process and has been a very important process for council to try and get our hands on, because it seems like when I came in as mayor, we started discussing some of this infrastructure management, and just hearing that, we still had some of our pipes laid out on like canvas maps. It's like, all right, we got to update our systems here and kind of get on the ball. And if we're going to start doing VDOT projects that are funded by VDOT that tear up our roads, we might as well address what's underneath them when that's happening and try and get
that's a good idea.
2 birds from a stone. So making sure we know where those needs are and taking care of them is important. But that all falls back to another discussion we had yesterday or Wednesday night, which was we had our audit presentation by Brown Edwards and Company. So they come in and do their financial audit of our processes, and we had a very thick, comprehensive financial report, our annual comprehensive financial report. And so what was great is the outfit of Brown Edwards and Company reported that we had what they call, and this is all sort of audit speak, but there was no deficiencies and no bad marks. And so normally you'll get a few deficiencies. You'll get like, we would like you to work on this. We'd like you to do that. There was none.
Congratulations.
Which is huge, right?
It
great.
is huge, yeah.
And on top of that, all of the metrics that you want to see moving in certain directions are all moving in those directions, right? Like our debt service load has been dropping for the last few years, and our annual operating setup financial stability is on the upwards. So financially, the town is moving in all the right directions and has been for the last few years. And it stands to reason that the financial director and the town manager and their whole outfit will, fingers crossed, receive their third in a row certificate of achievement for financial reporting, which is big because that's never happened in this town before. And now we're looking at possibly the third year in a row for the work that they put in one, making sure we're financially solvent, but also in reporting it accurately so that these auditing companies can come in and say, you guys are in really good standing. You're doing well.
Yes.
So that's always great to hear. And then last was the Zion subdivision up on Lane Street. So we have Mr. Ben Lapp, who is looking to do another subdivision on Lane Street, single family homes, but like a smaller, slightly more affordable homes. And he had supplied a development plat to us. There was a little back and forth because council had recently instituted a new ordinance about sidewalks and development and some requirements around sidewalks. And there seemed to be a little misunderstanding between town and Mr. Lapp about what that language meant. And so he presented a development plat that had sidewalks only on one side of the street. Council would prefer for that to be both sides of the street in our efforts to make the town increasingly more walkable and that sort of thing. But in reviewing everything, it became apparent that there may have been some, the language in the ordinance around sidewalks was such that you could have misinterpretation and you could have misconstrued version of what it said. And so on us, from my perspective and the vast majority of council, was that's kind of our fault. We could have made that more plainly written, more implicit. And so that's no fault to the developer. And he provided a good plan. He's ready to go. He's ready to drop shovels in the ground. We need more housing. Let's let him move forward.
Right.
We'll go back to the drawing board on our ordinance and tighten it up. But that's on us. That's not on him. And so that moved forward. Council did raise a motion, moved it forward so that Mr. Lapp can get started on his development project. So that was good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I thought so as well. And outside of that, we had a few discussions around events coming up and events past. We had the VML, Virginia Municipal League Conference, in October, where Mr. Vice Mayor Chucky Reed celebrated the end of his reign as president of Virginia Municipal League. So he was the first Farmville elected official to serve as president of our statewide municipal league. And he concluded his term, and we celebrated him, got to all be there together, did a video celebrating him and recognizing him and honoring him for all his years of service. I mean,
he's been around a long time.
He's been around a long time.
He's seen a lot of changes.
Yes. And he's been in public service for a long time through many avenues. I mean, he served in the Air Force. He served as a postal worker. He served on town council and as vice mayor for a long time. Like, his whole life has been service to this community. And so it was great to celebrate him. I came back from that and volunteered at the Virginia Children's Book Festival.
I heard you were there.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
It is, yeah.
And I got to tour around. I work I volunteer as an author escort generally every year and enjoy it so much because I get to see the joy on the kids' faces as they get to meet the authors of the books they read, and it's just so much fun. And then I met with the Bridge Builders, which are two high school groups from Schuylkill and Prince Edward who get together and they do these bridge builder programming. And so I got to meet with those kids at the Moton and talk about public service, which is great because that's one of my favorite things to do is talk to the youth about participation. And then had DWR meetings in Richmond, so Department of Wildlife Resources. We discussed hound hunting, which was a big topic of conversation in Southside Virginia, and moved through that. And then I got a tour of the Seed Innovation Hub in Midtown. So have you heard the Seed Innovation Hub in Midtown, where the bookstore used to be, will now be Longwood Seed Innovation Hub, and it's going to be this great maker space.
Ooh.
For people to do small-scale manufacturing stuff. They'll have, like, recording studios.
I'm glad that space is going to be used now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've got it laid out to where not only kids but the community will be able to come in and, like, create. And that's going to be
the
really
3D
cool.
machines and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. It's going to be so cool. So I got to take a tour of that, and it was great. And then at the end of October, I had a mayor's roundtable business meeting with business leaders from the community. I had heard some things through the grapevine. You know, I receive a lot more phone calls than I generally talk about. And so through some of those phone calls with people, I had heard that there were some concerns in the business community, feeling, some reticence about regulations and things like that. And just I've had several meetings about this, like trying to find where we can smooth pathways to entrepreneurship, smooth pathways to building businesses we already have.
Right. It's the process and all that gets really, really confusing, and navigating through that, it can really be discouraging.
Absolutely. And it's, sometimes it's as simple as, like, I was having this discussion, our former delegate, James Edmonds, and I serve on DWR board together, and we were talking about how for DWR, they always put out a scoping period about regulations. What does that mean? I mean, we know what that means because it's what we do, but like the public, once they see something that says scoping period, do they understand that that means public comment period and that they should submit comments? I wouldn't understand that. It says scoping period. Sometimes it's language. Like around town when I first became, was about to run for mayor and I was still sitting on council, I remember being upset because we had a bunch of parking lot signs that said municipal parking. And it's like, well, if I'm just the public who's not fully educated on the way local government works, I see municipal parking. I think that's for like elected officials or officials working in government. I don't understand that that means public parking.
Right.
So let's change those signs so that they say public parking.
Right.
And so, yes, to your point, a lot of times the language and the things around these institutions create barriers. But we also sometimes have regulations and things that need to be looked at. And so it was great to have our business community come together, express some of their concerns, give us some things that we can look at and review and see if there's ways we can move on. I think what will come out of it is I will put together a working group of business leaders from town, and we'll have regular meetings where we discuss things and try to work at things together. I tend to find, as I told them, that I'm a solutions-based person. I don't like just griping about stuff. I like diving in and digging in. And so, let's get together. And if people have issues, I like to bring them into the fold, and let's be like, all right, let's work together to see if we can figure this out. So that's the objective there. And I would say thank you to the town and the recreation department and the Farmville Downtown Partnership for the great Halloween downtown celebration. Once again, always a joy to see the kids walking around having fun. And that brings me to the last bit, which is looking forward to the Christmas tree lighting on November 22nd. So it'll be on Friday, November 22nd.
Okay.
We will have our Hallmark esque tree lighting that we always have annually. And the tree has already arrived. I saw it getting put up the other day.
That's
so
great.
Big news.
Yeah.
But that is a favorite event. I love that event. I love seeing everybody come together around the tree and celebrating our community.
Now, are the businesses, I know that they're dedicating a certain weekend or whatever for staying open, but are the businesses going to stay open a little bit later during the holiday shopping season? Or
I know that I've been seeing peripherally some posting about what they're doing, but I don't know. I can't speak for certain on what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I will dive into it. And next time I'm here, when will be the next time I'll be here in December? I'll let you know. I'll get back to you. I don't know what their game plan is. I do know they have a bunch of holiday stuff scheduled. I know. Particularly Downtown Partnership has been very active with the new director, Ms. EKG, getting hyped about the holidays, and I know she loves the holidays, so I think that she'll probably get some things going, or if they haven't already.
And there's a holiday house, open
There's a
house.
holiday house tour which we do annually. Yes, and then I know I think there are some like market days and things going on. So there's definitely going to be lots of opportunities to support your local businesses when you're shopping. And that's something that comes up inevitably every year. And I tell people I probably spend like 60-40, 60% in town, 40% online or somewhere else. It's hard these days not to spend a little bit online, but I make a very intentional effort to shop downtown.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, and I think it's important. One, not only are you supporting the businesses who support our community and support the activities in our community, and we support our small businesses, but you often get more unique gifts out of it, that really make an impression on that Christmas morning when somebody opens it up and it's something wholly different than what you would normally get from anywhere else. And that's very cool as well.
Yeah, it is. It is. Also, what about, I read somewhere, I guess it was in the Herald or whatever, about the roundabout.
Yes. Everybody loves
bring it up.
Yeah.
So the final plans are in place for that, and
the roundabout was, I think it first came up before I came on council in 2018. It originated in 2015, I think, is when the original conversations began. But then, yes, council voted forward on that roundabout project, fully funded by a VDOT Smart Scale program, in 2019, 2020, somewhere around there. So yes, what spurred the recent talk was a sign went up that was like, hey, here's VDOT information that something's going to be happening at the intersection.
Right.
Somebody, you can go to the website, you can see the plans, that sort of stuff. So that kind of jump started the conversation, and people felt like all of a sudden there was a roundabout coming. I had no idea. And I was like, well, this has been talked about for almost a decade. But yes, that is still the plan is for that roundabout to happen. They are in the process of solidifying those plans and beginning the process of building. It will take some years. There will be pains. There will be undoubtedly lots of consternation. But yes, a roundabout is going in at High, Oak, and Griffin. I personally have no issue with a roundabout, and look forward to seeing that come to fruition. I think it'll jazz that intersection up. That intersection is, because everything operates individually on that intersection, it can be a long intersection to sit at, and it sits off kilter, and it's a little mix-matchy, and people often will, because it's such a big intersection that's off kilter and so slow, people will often punch it full speed through there at like the red,
and that's pretty dangerous. That's pretty dangerous.
To try to make it through.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
all right. Well, good. Well, everything sounds like it's going well.
I mean, as well as it can the week after Election Day when everybody's so tense. But we're here on the local level. We just try to get work done and try to work together.
Sounds like Farmville's in good shape, great shape.
I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Miss Sally Amos, Donald Hunter, and Dan Dwyer, 3 council members, were reelected in this election cycle. They ran unopposed, but people still showed up and voted for them.
Good.
And that's great because I've been working with those folks for now 6 years, and I really appreciate the relationships we have and the way that we work together to try and do what's best for the town.
Absolutely. Good. Thank you so much for coming.
Absolutely.
We appreciate you. We appreciate everything that the town of Farmville does for our community, and it's just great. And we love having you to fill us in on what's been going on.
Well, I appreciate you letting me squeeze in here a little early.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, you too.
Have a good one. All right. That was Farmville Mayor Brian Vincent. And he was keeping us up to date on everything that's going on in the town of Farmville. It sounds like that financially they're in great shape and are thinking about the businesses and the citizens in Farmville. So that's fantastic. All right, we are at the bottom of the hour. It's 8:33. So that means we've got some business to take care of here, like our WFLO forecast. And the forecast is brought to you at this time by the Bank of Charlotte County.
Hello, I'm Stuart Wilborn, manager of the Bank of Charlotte County Loan Office in downtown Farmville. I invite you to call or come by and see me about your loan needs. Whether it's time to purchase investment property, build your dream house, expand your business, or purchase timberland or farmland, you will find old school personal assistance with attention to detail. Stop by our office at 216 North Main Street or call us at 391-1136. The Bank of Charlotte County, giving you more for your banking needs. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
All right, let's take a look at that forecast for Southside and Central Virginia. We'll see mostly sunny skies for today. Look for a high of 75. For tonight, mostly clear with a low around 44 degrees. For Saturday, sunny with a high around 61, so a little cooler, feel more seasonal. Saturday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 38. For Sunday, mostly cloudy, and we'll see a 30% chance of some showers developing. Look for a high of 60 degrees. On Sunday night, showers likely at 70% with a low of 52. But we'll wake up on Veterans Day, Monday, under sunshine with a high of 72 degrees. And for Monday night, partly cloudy with a low of 48. Tuesday of next week, sunny with a high around 65 degrees. Your humidity at 81%. Our winds are calm. Our barometer now at 30.12 inches. It's risen just a bit. We do have some sunshine outside. Our current temperature is at 61 degrees. That's your weather forecast brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County, with branch locations in Phoenix, Charlotte Courthouse, Brook Neal, and their loan office in downtown Farmville. All right, so we've got John Staten in the studio in the building here. Good morning, John.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I am here. How are you?
I'm here as well. No, doing great.
Present and accounted
Present and accounted for. Just taking it one day at a time.
Yep.
Got busy
One day
period
at a time. Wasn't that
up.
a TV show?
What?
One day at a time.
Yeah, I think so.
And Alice.
Uh-huh.
And One Day at a Time. That was the one with Bonnie Blair or whatever her name was. And she had two daughters, Valerie Bertinelli.
Uh-huh.
And it was one of those Phillips girls. I don't remember what her...
McKinsey was.
No, I don't think it was, but I can't remember.
Oh, well, anyway.
Anyway, it's not that important. I want to say the guy that worked on the place, his name was Schneider or something.
Something like that.
And he had his cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve or something like that.
I do remember that.
He was like the handyman of the apartments or whatever.
He was the super.
Super.
The super.
Super.
Yeah. All right, let's move along to our birthdays. The birthday calendar is brought to you by Terry Atkins, Wilson, PC.
The law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, is located at 117 North Main Street in downtown Farmville. With deep roots in Farmville and our surrounding communities, Terry and her legal staff specialize in real estate law, wills and trusts, business formations, and collections. Experience and professionalism are extended to every customer in every case. The needs and concerns of every customer are their primary focus. If you have legal needs, contact the law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, for a consultation at 434-392-1422.
Oh, wow. It's that time already, huh?
Yes, it is, and it's Friday. So that
and it is the 8th, correct?
That's Friday the 8th, and we're going to do the 9th and the 10th. Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
All right, here you go.
All right, celebrating today, we have Erica Skinner. And now I got to check all these other multiple lists we have here. And I could have sworn I saw something about the 8th and a birthday of some kind. Where did that one go? Here we go. Very bottom. All right. So, the 8th as well, having a birthday, Dr. Brent Roberts of Farmville, Dean of Greenwood Library at Longwood.
Oh, okay.
Brent Roberts. Dr. Brent Roberts.
Okay, Brent Roberts.
Having a birthday today as well. Now, I believe we can move on to the 9th, Saturday, and looks like we've got William Anthony Rather, Rather, and Hayes Duke, also on the 9th. And now let's...
Could be Rather.
Dan Rather? Yeah, you're right. Whatever he rather prefers. Doesn't
Okay.
matter. Whichever. Let's see, Joe Brooks of Cumberland. I like these multiple lists I have to go back and forth with. I think that's it for the 9th. So now we move on to the 10th, and nobody on this calendar for
I'm
the 10th.
looking at it. There's nobody there. Nobody was born on the 10th.
It was a slow day. Slow day that day. Yeah, you're my witness that there are no names on the 10th, and I do not see anything on these other lists as well for the 10th.
Well, that just
so
confirms
that should,
it.
Yeah, that should wrap it up.
Okay. All right, but how do they get the names to us, John?
Well, you can call right now, 434-394-0924 if we missed anybody. And other than that, birthdays or anniversaries, you can send the names to birthdays@wflo.net.
Sounds like a winner. All right. For the right legal advice, you can visit Terry Atkins Wilson PC on Main Street in Farmville, sponsor of our birthday calendar for today. All right. Speaking of celebrities, by the way, the lines now are open at 434-394-0924, and hopefully we have fixed the phone problem. So
Well, I called in, and we did a check,
we did check.
and it sounded like it was going through okay.
Right.
And we may have just had a technical difficulty of the wrong button not being pushed.
That's true, too.
Human error is what we call that.
That's right.
And it may, I don't know if that was really what it was or not, but.
All right. Celebrities. Musician Bonnie Raitt
Yep.
turns 75
All right.
today. She's quite a talented lady. She won multiple Grammy Awards in 2023. Also, actress Alfre Woodard turned 72. Now, she was seen a picture in the movie The Book of Clarence, which is what she's starring in. She played Miss Watsit in the 2003 TV movie adaptation of A Wrinkle in Time. Very talented actress. Let's see who else is celebrating today. Celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay turns 58 today. He has 6 children. So
Chef's kiss does the magic.
Okay. Actress Parker Posey
Yeah.
turns 56 today. All right. And who else? Actor Matthew Rhys, R-H-Y-S, turns 50. Portrayed comedian George Carlin in the recent film Saturday Night.
Okay.
All right. Who else do we have celebrating here? Actress Tara Reid turns 49. She appeared as herself in an episode of Ghosts last year. Tara Reid. More celebrity birthdays. A singer, Bonnie Bramlett, is 80 today. Former Entertainment Tonight host Mary Hart is 74.
Okay.
Former Playboy CEO Christy Hefner is 72. Singer-songwriter Ricky Lee Jones is 70. Guitarist Pearl Thompson, formerly Pearl, P-O-R-L, Thompson, of The Cure, 67. Singer-actor Leif Garrett is 63. Actor Courtney Thorne Smith is 57. Singer Diana King is 54. Bassist Scott Davendorf of The National is 52. Actor Gretchen Mol is 52 as well. News anchor David Muir is 51. Singer Bucky Covington of American Idol is 47. Actor Dania Ramirez of Devious Maids and Entourage is 45. TV personality Jack Osborne of The Osbournes is 39. Actor Jessica Lowndes of 90210 is 36. Singer SZA is 35.
SZA.
SZA.
Yep.
SZA. I guess that's how you pronounce
That's
it.
how I've said it.
Singer-actor Riker Lynch of Glee is 33, and singer Lauren Elena of American Idol is 30. So there you go. Let's see if we have any other birthdays, famous birthdays. Oh, that'll do it for that list of birthdays. So our time is 8:43. We've got plenty of time for some calls to come through on this Friday. And
I
just
think you
as
got
I
your wish.
mentioned it,
Yep.
I did get my wish. So, we'll say good morning. You're on the air.
Oh, good morning, people.
Good morning. How are you?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's a little loud sounding, but I can hear you fine.
Yeah, you're good.
You know, I can hear myself on delay.
That's because, are you listening on the stream?
No, just a regular.
It's probably because you have us in the background. You got the volume up in the background. That's what it is. It's a little bit of
No, I don't. I turned off my radios.
No, I don't know.
It's me and you guys.
For some reason, we have a weird thing going on with the phones. When I called in earlier, I don't recall hearing this.
No, but maybe it's just his voice.
You
Anyway,
don't realize how horrible you. Well, you don't realize how horrible you sound on the radio until you can hear your voice.
That is true. Yeah, some people do not like the sound of their voice.
So it's a it's not just the few. Even I guess some of the would be considered good announcers, hosts. Mm-hmm. They've been known to say they don't like their voice.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever hear your voice on the radio?
Yeah.
No, I've never heard myself before in my life.
I could picture you going home and talking and tape recording it and then playing it back.
I used to do that when I was a kid.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, I'd take a tape deck and record myself. I would try to do voices or I want to say around Christmas time, my sister and I would sing these Christmas songs that were in the old book that had the songs to them, and then we'd tell our dad, now take it to the radio station and speed it up and make it sound like the Chipmunks, and that's what he would do.
How fun.
Oh, that's cute.
That was always cool.
That was fun, yeah, I'm sure.
You you guys missed one obituary.
We did?
Yes, and he's not very famous. Well, he's famous, but he's not famous. He did the You've Got Mail voice.
Oh.
Okay, I did not hear about that. He just recently passed away?
Yeah, I thought it was a day or two ago.
Okay.
And
You got mail. That voice.
yeah, and,
okay.
you know, he sold that comment for $200.
Really?
Yeah, yes. I guess it's like the guy that created the Swish and what was it, Nike?
Yeah.
What was it, like $50 or something? He gave it. He sold it to.
I don't know.
Somebody for?
I think about the lady that said, "Where's the beef?" You remember her? Probably
my
not.
God.
Probably
Yeah.
not. No, probably not. That was a long time ago. Anyway.
But I was at the mart yesterday. Mm-hmm. And on one of the shelves, I totally thought that they had actually banned them from the stores. A Snuggie.
A Snuggie?
Remember them?
I don't think so.
Really?
I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of a Snuggie.
Huh. How about you, John?
Have you heard of a Snuggie before?
Are those things you put on your feet?
No, those are the things you actually. It's like you go inside of it. And I don't know if you zip yourself up or Velcro or what.
Yeah, I guess I've heard the term, but Snugs. That's what I'm thinking of. Is that what you put on your feet? Those things. I don't.
Oh gosh,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't wear stuff like that.
Either. It was. I think it was more of a joke.
I remember Snuggles that you used on your clothes, and he was a teddy bear on the commercials, and he was always talking. Put a little snuggle.
Oh yeah, well that's the fabric softener.
Yeah, right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, tell us more about Snuggles. I mean, Snuggies.
Yeah, I almost thought that you climbed in it, or maybe it was almost like a poncho. That was just this blanket, and
Oh, okay. All right.
Sounds like a blanket.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Like
And
that.
I guess it's just your head popped out.
I think I do remember something about something like what you're talking about. I vaguely.
Does it zip up like,
I don't
sort of like
think I don't think so. I think it's like a big
bag?
bathrobe kind of thing or something.
Yeah,
like
well.
Oh, gosh, I don't remember how you got into it.
that. I don't know. I vaguely remember.
People died, People were dying because they couldn't get out of it. They're stuck in there for days.
Like a sleeping bag that's stuck.
I remember seeing the adult flannel pajamas that, was one piece and you had to climb into it.
Long johns.
Zip it up.
Are you talking about long
Had the
johns?
feet. No, not long johns. These had the feet in them and everything.
I was thinking of long johns with the trap door.
Oh, dear. Oh, where are we going with this?
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know. I know.
I don't think we have to worry about getting cold. It's pretty warm for November.
Yeah, they were talking about
I know.
some things on the Old Farmer's Almanac.
What were they saying?
Well, about, if you go outside and it's cold, you got to bundle up and all this kind of stuff, or you're going to catch cold.
Yeah.
And I always thought that's really not right because the cold is a virus. It's not.
I agree.
Not catch
That's
cold
a
like
rumor,
you're
yeah.
cold, but a cold.
Cold.
Where you're sick.
Yeah,
I
you're
got
going to get sick.
Gotcha.
So I always thought
Yeah,
that
I've been
was,
sick in the summer, so that doesn't stand up to reason. So that makes sense.
Yeah, but it's been pretty warm, but things are going to cool off, and I'm just afraid the bottom's going to fall out.
It may.
It's going to go from summer Indian summer, I guess.
Yeah.
Down to full-fledged blown winter time. So we'll see. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I have a question about maybe it includes the FCC. Do they send you a list of, I guess I would call them naughty words you're not allowed to say on the radio, and then a list for the television stations? Or is it just parental discretion kind of thing?
Oh, no. Don't they have certain rules about curse words and stuff like that?
George Carlin was the one that explained it to me years ago.
What did he say? Oh, geez. I got to get myself ready.
That's just it. You can't say what it was like something like was it 5 things you can't say on TV or that type of thing. It was a whole stand-up bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they used to do that back in the day, and I guess that sort of thing just sort of got passed down to the point where you may not have seen anything official in front of you, but it was known to not say and or play songs that may have that sort of
that type of language,
right?
And for an
I was wondering,
because even if you don't get sent something like that, I tell you what, you will get sent. You'll get sent a fine if someone complains about it.
Right.
Oh, so somebody has to complain.
Enough complaints would have to go to the FCC before they actually go, okay, let's do something about this.
And to try to navigate that through the FCC is almost impossible. They make it very difficult.
A lot of red tape, I guess.
Yeah, it's a lot of red tape. But anyway,
that
was a good question.
Yeah, because I was kind of curious if they changed from like generation to generation, because some things are offensive now that weren't offensive then, and
you're right.
So
they've loosened up a lot of things. Well, it's like I always use this as an example: the movie Smokey and the Bandit. Now, when I was a kid, and if that got shown on TV, you would hear the voice of Fred Flintstone for a lot of what Jackie Gleason would say sometimes.
Okay.
It was overdubbed because Jackie Gleason either refused, or by the time they even did a re-edit on the voice in the movie, he had already passed. Well, but for whatever reason, the guy that did the voice of Fred Flintstone on the cartoon, I guess because of the Honeymooners' connection to the Flintstones, meaning the Flintstones sort of ripped that off or took some liberties with that, they got that guy to voice and redub certain lines in the movie that aren't back in the day were risque for television. Mm-hmm. Now, as the years have gone on, as I still see it pop up every once in a while, I notice less and less of that guy's voice and more of Jackie Gleason's actual voice. So as the years have gone on, they've gotten a little more lenient.
I'd forgotten that he was the sheriff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you scum bum and all that sort of stuff.
So if you catch it on cable, you'll listen. You can hear the I guess unedited version.
For the most part, now, like I said, you'll still hear some overdubs a little bit here and there, but it used to be a lot. And I used to think that was funny as a kid because I knew exactly what he was really saying, and it made me laugh to hear what they would come up with to try to cover it up. Like Scumbum was supposed to be SOB, basically.
Oh, uh-huh.
So he was always in the movie going, "You scumbum," and all this sort of. I'm sitting there going, "What in the heck is that?"
How corny is that, right?
But anyway.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I hope your daggone head was in it and stuff like that. As opposed to what he was really saying.
Oh.
That's a barometer. That movie. I mean, they do it with other films as well, but. I was just using that as an example of how things have sort of become more lenient as time has moved on. Because it used to be songs that you're talking about, those would only be played at night for some stations that would play that type of music.
Hours,
right.
In the wee hours.
Yeah, at night, overnight, whatever you want to call it, and they wouldn't play it during the day, or they'd play an edited version of it or something like that.
Well, you get a clean on the music that we get, or now that you download, you can get a clean version.
If you're lucky, you can find a clean version of it. If it's done right too, that's the other thing. Sometimes, especially these days with the internet, anybody can try to edit a song, and sometimes they turn out okay, and sometimes they're not all that great.
Right.
And sometimes I have to do the edit if I'm not aware, or I don't have the time to look up one, or I can't find one that's good enough, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, it keeps you on your toes. Sometimes they get past you.
It does.
I try to look up the lyrics if I don't know the song. If it's a new song, it's like, well, I got to look at the lyrics or something.
Because half the time you can't understand what they're saying in the first place.
That's true too.
Yes.
And sometimes I'll let things slide. And if I get somebody here at the station going, I heard that song play, maybe we ought to fix that. Then I'll go, oh, okay. Better fix that one. And sometimes there's songs that have been around for a while too.
Yeah, that can be very suggestive.
Yeah, or where they just don't think anything of just saying the word.
Well, the odd thing is that you can say the word without saying it, and that should be. You kind of know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can say the snuggle. What did you call it? Snuggle bug, and everybody knows what it means, but he didn't say it. But he got away with not saying it by saying it by not saying it.
Well, sometimes you can do like suggestive humor and stuff, and people listening will automatically go towards the naughty, even though you didn't say a thing. It was just suggestive, meaning.
All right.
I can't give a great example right now, but I could maybe make fun of a title of a song or something like that and make it suggestive without actually saying anything, and then somebody listening could go, "Oh, I'm offended by that." I know what you're suggesting and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So you got that. Sometimes you have to worry about too.
Okay.
It's fun.
I can figure it out. Yes. Let your mind wander, and that's the biggest playground.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But with the holidays coming up in Maryland, Annapolis has they call it a Midnight Madness. Do you know if Farmville puts anything on like that to where the shops would be open till late, and then because even in Annapolis they would serve a wassail or a spiced wine or something. Do they hold an event like that, or
where they're open as late as midnight?
Well, I can't picture midnight. I would say what would be a late night, 9?
They may, but I if they do, I'm not aware of it right off.
But you're kind of familiar with what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're saying,
Okay.
but I don't know
All right.
about this area is something as specified as that.
I didn't know if they did something and I just missed it last few years.
It seems like to me they would be something, but it would be more day oriented or something. I don't know if it's anything geared towards the night.
Well, since it's gotten darker, it gets dark at around
that's the other thing, yeah.
5 o'clock or 5:30.
Yeah.
Something like that. But the tree lighting ceremony is one of those things that is a community thing.
Yeah.
And you get together and I guess they sing carols. I'm not sure, and have serve cider or hot chocolate, stuff like that.
Right.
That's the only thing I
Yeah,
can
we
really
go to that.
think of.
You've gone to that?
Have you gone to that before?
Every year, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
We take a thermos and some wassail. And
What is wassail, by the way?
it's like I guess, in simple terms, it's a spiced wine.
Aha.
So you would put, add other things. Citrus seems to be pretty.
So when they
popular with
say,
that stuff.
here we come, a wassailing, we're basically saying, here we come, getting buzzed. One time we didn't have the stock market report, and you know what I did?
Yeah.
It was around that Christmas time. I said, well, no Watsons. I guess they're out watsailing. And somebody heard that and said something to me about it. They thought it was funny. So.
Yeah, well, it is funny.
Oh, man.
All right, we got to get out of here.
Thanks for calling in. Have a great weekend.
Have a wonderful
All right.
weekend. And
Thank you.
Farmville Christmas Show is tomorrow at the Lower Commons
Oh, you're
at
gonna be
Fuqua
on-
School.
yeah.
Tomorrow from
You
9 to
can-
4 and 9 to 3 on Sunday. I'll be there selling books.
Oh,
Anyway.
and the celebration for the vets too. In fact,
Oh, that's right. Uh-huh.
Thanks, vets. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Take care.
Okay.
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Uh-huh.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Veterans
All right.
Day is Monday.
Yes, Veterans Day is Monday. It's a holiday for
Yep,
some.
for some.
Yep. All right. It's been real.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye.